Ever wanted to talk about the future in English? You know, about what might happen if something else happens first? Well, in this explainer, we're going to master a simple but super powerful tool that'll let you do exactly that. And trust me, it's going to make your English sound so much more natural. So let's just dive right in with a question that uses the very grammar we're here to learn. If you master this rule, what will happen? Well, you'll speak more fluently, you'll sound way more natural, and you'll understand native speakers a whole lot easier. That's the goal, right? And the structure we're about to break down is the key. Okay, so this magic tool we're talking about, it's called the First Conditional. I want you to think of it as your golden rule for talking about real, possible things in the future. It's really the essential way to say, if this happens, then that will happen. So what is it exactly? The First Conditional is all about talking about real possibilities. This isn't for daydreaming about things that can't happen. Nope, this is for practical, everyday situations where one thing happening in the future depends on another. It's all about connecting a condition to a result that's actually likely. And here it is. Seriously, pay close attention, because this might just be the most important slide we look at. The formula is if plus a verb in the present simple tense, followed by will plus a verb. That's it. It's really that simple. Go ahead and burn this into your memory because this is the engine that drives everything else. Let's look at a classic example. If it rains, I will stay at home. See how that works? The condition, if it rains, uses the present tense, rains, and the result, I will stay at home, uses will. Simple, clear, and makes perfect sense. Now this slide here is so important because it shows the #1 mistake people make. It is so tempting to put will in both parts of the sentence. But just remember our golden rule, okay? The if part always uses the present simple. So it's if it rains, never ever if it will rain. That is probably the biggest takeaway here. Okay, so once you've got that basic formula down, you can start to play with it a little. The really cool thing about the first conditional is that it's flexible. You don't always have to start the sentence with if. And this shows you the one simple punctuation rule you gotta know. If you start with the if part, you pop a comma in the middle. But look what happens when you flip it and put the result first. The comma just disappears. You will succeed if you work hard. The meaning is exactly the same, but the punctuation changes. It's a great way to add a little variety to how you speak and write. So we know the formula. We know how to structure it. But when are you actually going to use this in a real conversation? Let's check out some super common real-world scenarios. It basically boils down to 3 main jobs: talking about possibilities, giving people a heads up or a warning, and making promises or offers. Let's look at a quick example of each one. First up, possibilities. This is absolutely perfect for making plans. If the weather is good, there's our condition in the present tense. We will go to the beach, and there's our likely result. You're just laying out a plan that depends on something else happening.
Next, giving warnings. Oh man, this one is incredibly useful. If you don't hurry, you will miss the bus. See, you're pointing out a negative thing that's probably going to happen if the condition isn't met. It's direct, it's clear, and it gets the point across. And finally, making promises or offers. If you help me, I will buy you lunch. This is a classic, right? It's like a negotiation, or just a friendly offer. You're setting up a simple deal. You do this, and in return, I'll do that. All right, you've seen the formula, you've seen the different ways to use it, and you've seen it in action. Now, it's your turn. Let's do a quick little check to make sure everything's really clicked. You ready? Okay, here's the first one. Take a look at the sentence on your screen. How would you fill in those blanks using the words study and pass? I'll give you a second to think about it. And there it is. If she studies hard, she will pass the exam. We use studies with an IES because it's third-person present simple, and will pass for the result. Perfect. You got it. Okay, let's try one more, but this time with a negative. If they, not hurry, they be late. How do we make that first part negative in the present simple tense? And the answer is, if they do not hurry, they will be late. For the negative with they, we use do not. The result part stays the same with will be. Excellent work. So as we wrap things up, let's come back one last time to our golden rule. This is the one thing you absolutely have to remember. If you can remember this little formula, you will always get the first conditional right when you're talking about real future possibilities. And that brings me to a final thought for you. We started by asking what will happen if you master this rule. Now I'm going to leave you with a different question.
What will you achieve if you actually practice it? Will you have more confident conversations? Will you finally pass that big exam? The possibilities are totally real, and now you have the perfect tool to talk about them. Thanks for joining me.